Thank you guys for joining us again here on Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom. We're here once again exploring the Black experience in America, but more to the point here in the Ohio Valley. And we want to make sure that you get all these interviews and all the information that we have here on this channel. And to be able to do that, what you need to do is always hit the bell so you're notified of any videos that we have. Then hit the like button so that we get it as many likes as possible. But we also want you to hit the subscribe button so you become a subscriber to this network and you don't miss any of the information that we have. Today we got an exciting interview and we're going to be talking about Steubenville back in the day. And what we do here, we talk about the Black experience, but today we've got a special guest who's going to show us from his eyes the Black community, because we have none other than Tony Reda, and he's here today with us to give us a little bit of back in the day about Steubenville on the North End side of town is where he grew up, which was a predominantly Black area, as it still pretty much is today. And I think he's going to give us a unique perspective from his point of view, being a white man in the community, and being there basically forever, working with the youth in our community. He's going to give us a nice perspective. We're going to just chop it up here and talk about how it was when he grew up, and then once he's got older, and what Steubenville is like now as it relates to him and the Black community. So, Tony, if you can give us a little word about yourself, let everybody introduce yourself a little bit and let us know who you are, those of us that don't know you.
Name's Tony Reda, and I was born in Marsh Alley, and I was raised there for the first 6 years. I went to Buchanan for 1 through 3. Then I moved to the North End and lived there until I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. So you gotta start asking me questions.
Good deal. Hey, that's fine. I just wanted to get a base, and you've already brought up some interesting things for me. You're older than I am, so there's going to be some parts of Steubenville that I don't recognize by just some of the things you're going to say, and some of our audience will know, and some of them won't know. But the first thing is Marsh Alley. That was located where? And is it still Marsh Alley?
Yeah, it's Marsh Alley. That's where that's where all the Freemans. I don't know if you know Ray Freeman, Nate, and all them.
Oh yes.
They were born in Marsh Alley too.
Oh, okay.
David Brown.
Yeah. So you're talking about behind Mount Zion Church, which is presently Mount Zion Church.
Mount Zion Church is alley behind there.
Okay.
That's Marsh Alley.
Yeah, it goes all the way back and
goes
down.
all the way out to
North Avenue.
About Dock Street.
Dock. Okay, yeah. Good deal.
That's
so Marsh Alley, that's where you were born, and you lived there, and that was in 1963. You were born, I presume.
45.
I'm sorry, 45. You graduated in 63.
Yeah,
1945, and you lived in Marsh Alley until you're 6 years old, and you moved to Franklin Avenue.
Right.
You grew up on Franklin Avenue. You was at Franklin Avenue until you're 20 years old.
Right.
Okay. Who's some of the people that was your best friends out there, and the families that surrounded that?
My best
friend
was Fast Eddie. That was Eddie Gillison.
Eddie Gillison.
A guy named Milton Kelly. They call him Pluko.
Okay.
Willie Stiles.
Yeah, familiar with
Levi Davis. And Skippy Patterson. That was my guys I hung out with.
So that was your crew.
That was the crew.
I know Mr. Skip Patterson well.
Yep.
Good man. Real good man.
You ought to interview him.
Yeah, I will. I know he'll have a lot to say too. He actually was a neighbor of mine, and I used to talk all the time. So
he's the only one left out of that
crew besides yourself.
Yeah,
is that right?
All dead.
Yeah. Okay. And so you grew up on Franklin. I assume you went to Steubenville Big Red and Steubenville City Schools all your life.
Yep.
Graduated in 1963. Did you play any sports?
Yeah, I played basketball. And first couple of years of freshman sophomore, I played football, and I played basketball. Played a year of baseball.
Okay, played
basketball. I played my senior.
To your senior year. Mm-hmm. Okay, good deal. How did you guys do your senior year?
We got beat in the district finals by Zanesville. But that's when Fritz was playing over Weirton and stuff.
Fritz Williams.
Yeah, we played against them. We were 15-3 during the regular season.
Oh, okay.
I think we ended up like 18, 19 or 3.
19 Yeah. I see. So Zanesville beat you guys, huh?
Yeah.
Who was the 5 starters or the main guys?
Our best player was Dave Brown.
Okay.
Then we had Bobby Baker, Stanley Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Harry Wilson.
Oh, he played basketball too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you played the era of Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
He was a great running back, correct?
Yeah. He was all high.
Okay, good deal. So what I'd like to ask you first of all, I want you to tell me what was it like as a 13-year-old walking the Franklin Avenue, coming from school in the summertime. What did you guys do? What did you do with those friends of yours?
We hung out down the ball field.
Right.
We hung out down there, played basketball in the evenings, played baseball. I don't know some of the stuff. I don't know if I can say some of this stuff.
Oh, you can say whatever you want to say.
Well, we was kids, we're not quite 13, but the hostess truck would come, we hit the hostess truck.
Yeah.
Pop truck we hit.
Okay.
We hit anything that stopped there, we could get
Right.
something. And that's just the way it was. And back then they had like gallon jugs.
Right.
For milk. Had a steel handle on it.
Yeah.
Well, we used to steal those, take them down to the Prestos and get a quarter for them.
So what'd you do? People would put them out for the milkman to come get and refill.
Yeah, they get take it and put another one there. Well, we'd take the three thing and take it down and get a quarter.
Okay, good deal.
That's what we did.
So you got some old moms looking for you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as the years went, so you went there at 6 years old. As the years went, how was Steubenville racially as a whole? You were in an area where there was more.
I couldn't tell you really. I couldn't tell you how it was racially until I got to about 2021 and left my neighborhood.
Oh,
I never left the neighborhood.
Okay, so you didn't know.
I didn't go up on the hilltop. We used to call them cake eaters. We never went on the hill because which ain't true. We thought everybody on the hill had money. They was all rich because they was on the hill, which was totally untrue. But that was our mentality. Man, they live on the hill. They got to have money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's how our thought process was.
So you stayed basically in the neighborhood.
I never left the neighborhood. I stayed there. I never went to somebody else. I never went on the hilltop. I never went to the south end. I never went nowhere. We stayed right there with the guys we hung out with. That's what we did.
That's how we did.
Yeah, we didn't go nowhere until we got out. Where you get your eyes open is when you go see other people. You get out a little bit, then you say, "Man, where do these guys come from?" It's just like anything else. I'm gonna be up front.
Yeah.
That's just like all the black dudes would get together talk about the white guys.
Right.
The white guys did the same thing. You know what I mean?
Except you was in on the conversation.
But I listen. I didn't look. I'm talking about and what I hear guys say. I would tell the guys I hung. I said, "Man, these guys here ain't who you think they are."
Right.
The difference was those guys with on my side would tell me the same thing. See that guy? I ain't gonna mention no names. He hates you. He can't stand you.
I see.
And he was all
because you were with them.
No, I'm talking about other black dudes who didn't like me.
Okay.
And they would give me a heads up. You say, "Hey, Tony, how you doing?" If you me, I said, "Man, he must be all right. We're all right." But we weren't all right because they would say, "Man, that guy hates your guts." That's the difference. You know what I mean? Those guys here would give me the heads up on guys, and the guys that they thought was all right, I'll give them the heads up. I mean, that guy don't like you, man. He call you all kind of names. Right. That's the way it was.
I see. So then you would see the difference as a kid, all friends, but then when you got to school, you might have some white friends.
No, that
still hung.
That shit there, I didn't get out of that neighborhood with them guys until I left the neighborhood and everybody started getting married and stuff. But one guy kept us all together all the years was Eddie. Eddie and Helen Gillison.
Yeah.
So that's who he was married to. Helen. She's a lawyer and all that. Anytime there was a big fight on, anything, they always, all the guys would go over to the house, they have a spread. Right. Summertime, like on 4th of July or Memorial Day or stuff, we'd all get together. Right. He was the one that kept and we'd all go. Right. Well, Levi wasn't here at the time, but most of the guys would go, we'd have and drink, and he'd barbecue and all that. And he kept it together. When he passed away, it seemed just like everybody started dying, you know what I mean? Then some of them guys, drank themselves to death, did other things, and it'll never be the same. I mean, I'll never laugh the same again as long as I live. I can't do it. I mean, those guys here was,
So as a teenager, as a young man, it was just more of this is our area.
That's what it was.
This is the world. This is the world I live in.
Yes. So I never got out that world till I got older. You know what I mean? Okay.
So let me ask you this then. You can, from your perspective now, like you said, when you got out and looking back, what was it, if somebody says right now, the 60s and the early 70s?
But I would go back to the 50s and the 60s.
Is when you were young.
When I was young.
And so the 50s and 60s, how different were race relations to you from when you was a kid to when you were a teenager and then 20? Meaning, was Steubenville different?
From what you're saying there to when I was 20, you're not going to believe it. I mean, color didn't make no difference.
Right.
I mean, where we came up at,
Right.
it was different than every place else. There was no such thing as, my parents didn't talk about color. Nobody
Right.
did. They lived in that neighborhood.
Right.
I mean, they just didn't. People may not believe that shit, but it was true.
Is that
Now,
right?
you don't find out about the real world till you leave that.
I see.
Then you find out, say, Jesus Christ, where these people come from? I mean, they would use the N word. I mean, I'm saying,
I
are you
understand.
kidding me? I mean, but a lot of those guys, I didn't associate with too many guys even when I got out of there.
Right.
You know, I mean, in fact, to the day, I don't look for that many people.
So let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask it in a way. It's nuanced because it's something you hear now. Not my generation. I guess it would be my kids' generation now. When you hear the academics talk or people who socially they talk about the race relations, what you would have then, to me, what you would have experienced by the time you got to be 25, 30, 35, working in the mill with a very good job, starting a family, living outside of what we're going to call the ghetto.
But the ghetto was always the ghetto. We just didn't know it was the ghetto.
Well, correct. But I'm saying I call where I grew up at the ghetto because, like you said, we had similar feelings. Anything of Pleasant Heights and above was rich people. That's what we thought. That's all rich people. And that's how I lived on Hill Avenue, but the reason I'm asking you this is then it took you till then, the way you describe it, to know of anything called white privilege.
I never knew what. I don't.
You didn't as a kid.
Even when I grew up, I didn't know what that meant. I mean, I came up with guys who were just like me, black or white. That's the way we was.
Well, let me just say this.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, when you coached, we'll get into that, but when you coached CIO, you found out that there was people who thought something about CIO differently than they thought about ISU. And it was because they were all black kids.
Yes.
My point is, you said there was no difference before, but now you're starting to realize there is.
Oh,
so the reason I say white privilege is not necessarily that I'm saying that you received it, which you do, because you don't have to take part in it. What I'm saying is that now there's a different world.
Yeah.
You don't live in North End no more. You live in the area
But the thing of it is, it's not different.
Is that right?
This is just mine. It ain't no different now than it was then. They just hide things every day. Okay. I'm not going from white. I don't even know what you can explain.
Okay, well, what white privilege means is that in some you know that there's places you could go in that all them buddies of yours couldn't.
Oh, absolutely.
So my point is, the reason you can go in is because you're white, not because you're better.
That's right.
So my only point is, though, but when you were as a kid, it was all the same neighborhood. You guys went to each other's houses, and you're all friends.
Went to shows together.
Now you might have friends that you work with that wouldn't want your black friends in their house on Super Bowl day. No. If they invited you over and you wanted to bring all them friends, they would invite you. So my point, though, is you can still go to that house, so you have a certain privilege because of your color that they don't have.
You can look at that just with at the high school when they had Swing Haven, they call it. It's where people danced back in the day.
Okay.
In fact, I got in an argument with a guy here not long ago. When I was in school, didn't know blacks was allowed in Swing Haven. I won't say allowed, but they didn't go. I'm thinking they wasn't. Well, I don't know that for a fact.
Right.
So a guy tells me the other day, he says, I can't believe this guy's just prejudiced.
Right.
I said, what do you mean? He says, he got treated good around here. I said, he got treated good. Now, this guy's older than me. Okay? This guy I'm talking about, I don't want to mention no names.
Yeah, we don't need to mention names.
But anyway, he says, well, he's prejudiced because he was writing in there stuff about when Obama was president, he defending this guy.
Right.
He was a little on the racial side. And I said, oh, he got treated good, huh? Mm-hmm. I said, how about when he had a girlfriend and you had your girlfriend and you went in there and danced, but he couldn't go in there?
Right.
He didn't know what to say.
He didn't know what to say.
I said, so it wasn't that great. You don't know. You think because a guy didn't say anything, it was all right, but it's not all right. Then he thought for a while, and then he didn't say nothing.
Now let me ask you this: two things about what that example was great because that example was an example of white privilege.
Yeah,
meaning he thinks this guy had it all great because he's had it great.
Yeah,
so he thinks he's got the same things, and when you don't realize, no, he's experienced something different.
Right.
The next thing is what you did by saying that to him. Is that something you always do?
I'd say
You've always did. I mean,
if someone says something and I don't agree with and I think they're wrong,
right.
I'm going to say something.
Okay.
I'm not going to start nothing, but don't say nothing if you don't want no response from me.
So what you're saying is, I'm about right and wrong. It's not like you're a civil rights fighter or something like that.
Whatever's right
it's
is
just
right.
You know that,
in my opinion, I ain't always right, but if I think I'm right, I'm going to say it. I don't care who it is or what it is. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Well, and I tell you one thing is that I love hearing when you told me. That's the reason I asked you to interview you. We were just talking in the doctor's office, and you were telling me about the guys you grew up with, and they're all family names that I know, and my family knows, and people that I know.
The whole neighborhood.
And again, my point is that it was just very surprising. I knew you from when you was a coach, and to me, you were just like every other coach. Like, I'll name names just because everybody knows who coached when I was there. The Mettenbergers, Coach Moose.
Yeah.
You know, UPP, Corsi, Coach CIO, Sugardale. Coached Ohio Cole. Lamatrice was over at Target Shop. You had Saccone and Reno at ISU.
Yeah.
My point is, all you guys were the same. You were white guys to me that lived up on the hill or something. The difference was you guys had all the black guys on your team. Mm-hmm. Everybody else had 2 or 3 blacks. That was it. Now, it might have been, maybe Eagles had a little more. Brigham then might have had a little more at the time when I played. Mm-hmm. But my point was, so you, PP, and Corsi always felt safe as a young kid growing up, because my cousin Timmy played for you guys, Timmy Beards.
Yeah.
You know, Tor Hill, Mayo, they were all guys older than me, but I looked up to them guys, and Kano and them guys. Yeah. And so my point was, if you were all right with them and they were all right with you, it made me feel that I was all right with you. The other coaches weren't the same way, you know.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that I think your perspective of the black community is interesting, because you were in it, you were outside of it, you've seen how other white people may feel about it. Mm-hmm. And so now what I'm trying to get from you at this point, when you hear things about race relations, mm-hmm. when you see things being done wrong, mm-hmm. How do you feel about it? Are you someone who feels that it's wrong and just there are some things in life that's wrong? Do you feel passionate about it? Or do you feel that I had a group of black people I know, they were a certain way, I don't know how other black people are now? Like, are you indifferent to it? You know, is it just something that doesn't affect you? How would you?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, when you've seen the stuff with Obama, let's do it there.
Yeah, okay, Obama. I mean,
people say stuff.
Well, you know what they say. I mean, just like this guy's in there now. They voted for the guy because he's a Ku Kluxer. All right, I mean, let's just be honest about it. I mean, that's what the guy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of the people voted for him are Ku Kluxers.
Right.
I mean, they've hidden it for all these years in this country. Let's just be honest. Hey, I ain't perfect by a long shot neither.
Right.
But the thing of it is, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know, and Obama was the first black president. And the first time the guy got in office, the first day, the guy said, McConnell said, hey, we're going to make this guy one-term president, and we ain't going to help him do shit.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And again, I think, and this is the thing that's frustrating, is that you said that so matter-of-factly, but black people have to argue that he's that. Like, oh, Trump's not racist, or the people around Trump's not racist. It's just that, and what that is that's disrespectful to me, because
they thought you like you're stupid or something. Exactly, that's the bottom line.
Exactly. So let's before we shift into any more politics, what I want to do is go back a little bit to your high school.
In my high school days, when I got 13, there was one man there, one mm-hmm. family. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was like 10, 11 years old. And I'm going to tell you exactly who it was. Mm-hmm. Royal Mayos. Mr. Mayo and Mrs. Mayo.
Oh, okay.
And Royal lived up the street from me.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Mayo was one of
the... So, Royal, that's my age, his grandfather.
That'll be his grandfather and his father. I went to school with his father.
Oh, okay.
All the way through. Mr. Mayo was probably one of the richest guys in town.
Is that right?
Mr. Mayo had apartment buildings that ran from... You know where Adams Street is, where that... a gas station is? Caddy corner from there over to Adam and 7th.
Yes.
From that place there, goes all the way down to that, there's a gas station, ain't there? It used to be a gas station. That whole block was apartments, he owned those.
Is that
a whole block. And he probably owned 15 or 20 houses in the South End.
Is that right?
Right. So he was a caterer for Williams Country Club. So when I was 10 years old, they had a station wagon. Mayo come help us load. I'd help to load the thing up, ride with him over to Williams Country Club, which I thought was 4,000 miles away. I'd unload it, put it in the kitchen, and do that, right? So I'd make $10.
Okay.
You know what I mean, I'd make a couple of trips. He'd give me $10 in 1955.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the funny part about things in life, you're going. I don't know if you're going to appreciate it. Well, Mayo, as we got older, they dress up and they would serve.
Right.
So I would take stuff over. I say, Mr. Mayo, can I try that? He said, boy, you can't do that. That's how naive and dumb. I thought, what's he doing? Why can't?
So he meant you can't do it because you're you're black. You're white.
Right, exactly.
Black people got to do that.
Exactly.
I see.
But I didn't know it at the time. I said, shit. I wanted to do that because he made more money. I said, I can make more money.
I understand. You seen him as a worker.
Yeah.
You seen him as a businessman.
Yeah. That's exactly what he was, a businessman.
That's what he was.
And Mr. Mayo, he took care of me. So here comes the YMCA. The YMCA was big back in the day. So
yes.
They had those, what do you call it? You go away for camp for a week.
Yeah.
It was $40. Man, this is 1955. My old man ain't give me he ain't give me 4 cents, let alone $40. Man, so I told Roy, I said, man, I can't go. I said, Mom, man, give me no $40.
Right.
You're lucky to make that in a week, right?
Right.
So he said, all right. A couple of days later, he said, my dad will pay for you. So they took me. It was in Worcester.
Oh, Worcester, Ohio, yeah.
Worcester, Ohio. I thought it was like California. That's how far it was. So he paid for me, rode me up there, left us for a week, came back and got us and brought us home. That's what Mr. Mayo did for me. I mean.
Now, why did he choose you?
Because I always loved with Royal. Me and Royal.
Oh, you were friends. I see. So he was doing it too. He was with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I see.
So when I got older, got 14, 15, I'd go out and help him work on those houses, tar the roof and do all that stuff.
Let me ask you this
like
real
that.
quick. Because what I do want to say is so you were good friends with him.
Who?
Royal.
Oh, yeah.
So what's funny though is you talked about his dad already.
Yeah.
Dad was a businessman. He had houses and stuff.
Oh,
so I assume Royal had to help him with all that stuff constantly.
Yeah, he had. I'm gonna tell you what. Royal had a tough life because his old man beat the snot out of him.
Okay, well, we won't go that far.
We won't go. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying he beat the snot.
Right. Well, it's just like I did too. I got crap beat out of me. But what I was going to say is the reason I want to say that is because when I said, "Who was all your friends?" you didn't mention him.
Yeah. Well,
what you mentioned was you guys drinking on the log and loafing.
Yeah.
He probably didn't have time to
he
be
wasn't
loafing.
loud.
Yeah.
He wasn't loud.
Okay.
I mean, I'd go up there. He had to be home. We was out playing or something. He never loafed with the crew I'm talking about because of his dad. Yeah. But at like 4 or 5 o'clock, he had to go home and practice piano. He had to play the piano. And his dad was super strict,
Right.
But Mrs. Mayo, she was an angel. I mean, the nicest woman I ever met.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I remember Granny. Granny. Well, that's a story that I've never heard anything like that. Like even about and I know young Royal Mayo, and I never knew anything about his dad or his grandfather, but I knew his grandmother. But what's funny is that's, and I think, to me, when you say that, I often wonder how all that. There's so much in life that happens.
Yeah.
Because what you explained about him saying, "Oh, you can't do that." Right. It's the innocence that you had.
I didn't know no difference. Where I grew, the environment I grew up in. I didn't understand it.
I don't know if you've seen the movie The Butler.
No.
Because what's funny about that is that I've seen the movie The Butler, and I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. If you ever get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's about the black guy that was the black man who was the head butler in the White House.
Oh, okay.
And it's about the pride he took in what he did. But there's people who commented on the movie, obviously, and said, it wasn't that great. All you showing is a man serving,
What they're saying is Uncle Tom. That's what
to some extent. But the movie, he wasn't a Tom in the movie.
Okay.
But what he took... No, you're right. I mean, that's again, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's the reason why I do this channel.
I'm not saying that, but
I understand exactly what you're saying because some people do say that. Yeah. Because my point is, his son even said that to that effect because his son was like a Black Panther. Wanted to be a Black Panther. He didn't really respect his dad because his dad was a server. The point is simply what I'm making is that I thought the movie was awesome because he was a professional is what he was.
Yeah.
Now, he may have been a professional server, but he's a professional at the highest place in the world there is to do what he was doing.
Exactly.
And the difference is that you've seen that in Mr. Mayo and wanted to work with him. You're saying he was a caterer
Yeah, he was
at the Williams
at the
Country
highest
Club.
level.
Do you know how many people would want to contract now to be the caterer at the Williams Country Club?
That's
And they
exactly-
wouldn't, and it wouldn't matter color.
And when Royal came back from school, he went to Iowa State for a year, so flunked out, whatever.
Okay.
He came back, got hired in a heartbeat. I saw Mr. Mayo.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayo made a call. He was hiring word still that fast.
Because he had that much respect.
No, yeah, but the people that owned the,
Yeah,
owned the
Williams.
mill.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They was the same.
Most of the big parties over there were like the superintendents,
Yeah.
the guys that owned the mill.
I see.
That's what he did. I'm gonna tell you what. He made a ton of money. I mean, he made so much money. I mean, like I said, he owned all that property.
And I don't, you know, and again, I'm probably not, I'm not well versed enough in the city of Steubenville myself because I don't know why. I think because when I graduated, I moved to D.C. for 10 years. Then when I came back, I was a man. When I left, I was a boy.
Yeah.
And as a boy, I was kind of like you. I stayed in my neighborhood. My dad was kind of strict. And so I didn't know, I knew a lot of people through my family. And but that was it, you know. So when I came back, there's people I had to learn, but there was nobody to tell me about the old days. My dad died when I was younger. My mom was from Mango.
Okay.
And so I didn't have a lot of knowledge about, you know, a lot of things. But these things that you are bringing out is so, I think most of our listeners and people that subscribe to this channel will understand a little bit of how Steubenville used to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break.
All right.
And when we come back, we're going to start anywhere you want to start, but I want to get into the 80s.
Oh, okay.
I want to get into the 80s and 90s. And anything you want to tell us about, anything before that. But I want to talk about the years that I was in high school and then the years that my son was in high school, about Steubenville, the changes, and any suggestions that you may have on what you, not suggestions, things you've observed about the black community. We'll be right back.